Hmm. Well, the mountain right here behind me exists in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and there's lots of things going on up and down and all around the place. So today I was going to tell you about all the things that you can do in this area of Jackson Hole, which include and involve this gorgeous mountain called Snow King. So my name is Rose, and I am an on-camera host, also do some voiceover work and emceeing. And I love sharing about this wild place where I live. And this place, which is Snow King Mountain, it has a lot of history. So I wanted to talk about the history, the stats, and the activities that you can experience while you're in Jackson Hole. So first, let's go into the stats. First of all, the Snow King was the first ski area in Wyoming back in the early 1900s, and the peak is 7,808 feet. But that may or may not mean anything to you because living in Jackson Hole or staying here and visiting, it's about 6,200 feet. So you're like trying to do the math. But I can tell you that there's actually from here to there, there's about a little over 1,500 feet of vertical gain if you were to hike this mountain. So, getting into the history of the place, in 1936, there was this operation called the Civilian Conservation Corps, and they decided they were going to make a hiking and horseback riding trail that went all the way to the top. But it didn't just go to the top, it switched back to the top. So keep that in mind if you want to hike Snow King Mountain. You will have to go up some very exciting switchbacks. In addition to that, we lovingly refer to Snow King as our town hill. And before that, it actually was named Kelly's Hill, but it was officially named Snow King in 1938. And in 1946, the first chairlift was created, and it was a single chairlift. So you had to get on by yourself. And if you do some research and Google single chairlift Jackson Hole, Wyoming, you're going to find some pretty serious pictures of people on this amazing one seat wonder where everyone's smiling. Meanwhile, I would think I would probably go out of my mind going up a chairlift all the way up to the king in a single, which I don't even know if it had a bar. We'll have to make sure you let me know in the comments about that. Okay, so now let's talk about the activities that exist here at Snow King. So first of all, year-round they have a gondola. That's right, no more single stuff. No more getting into a single, I don't even know what you would want to call it. It looked like a piece of wire. So a gondola holds about 8 people, and you can get up to the top very quickly. I would say less than 5 minutes. And that gondola is open year round. At the bottom, we obviously have a hotel that you can see here. Over on this side, which is more to the eastern part of Jackson, we have condos that are for rent that are called Love Ridge. And we have 2 restaurants, right? So we have the King's Grill, which is over up and yonder, kind of it's towards the bottom, but you have to climb up some stairs to get to it. And Hayden's Post, which is inside the actual hotel, which is more on the fine dining side, although I wouldn't say it's fine dining. Let's see what else. They also have some rooms inside. I don't want to forget about that because if you have a conference that you need to have some space for, you can get the rooms inside and rent those out, which is kind of nice because a lot of them have a lot of windows either looking out to the king or some sunlight coming in, which is great. Some of them even have decks overlooking certain areas. And then, of course, at the top, we have a lot of things going on. So in summertime, well, let's just talk about the top in general. At the top, there's this beautiful restaurant called Aurora. So you can make reservations for that. And if you'd like to go there, your gondola ticket is included. So that's one of the local secrets because on their website, it doesn't quite indicate that that's the case. So go to the Aurora website, plan your reservation, and you get your gondola for free. Now, there's also a planetarium and what we call like a telescope lookout, right? So you can go there at night and actually look at the telescope. There's concerts in the evening that they do. That's really in the summertime. And then there's also skiing for beginners at the top of the mountain, which is for beginners, usually kiddos. But it's nice because you can't quite tell, but at the top it's pretty flat. So that's why they put the beginner stuff up there. But it's really exciting for small kids to be able to go up to the top of the mountain and say, I'm going skiing on the top of Snow King. That's right. So in summertime, we have hiking. We also have what's called a cowboy coaster, and that is relatively new to this area because the coaster is like a roller coaster, but not really. I mean, you're in this open space, you're in a onesie. I think 2 people can ride on it, and you control the speed on it. So that can be important for people. But then we also have an alpine slide. So yeah, think 1970s fun where you're sliding down this concrete track and you're also controlling with a lever right in front of you the braking system. I've seen people race on these things and go flying right off the track. So I would say be careful if you want to do the alpine slide. Probably not wise to put your tiny child on there. Okay, no tiny children. But on the coaster, I'm pretty sure they can ride in front with an adult, so that's not a problem. And then, of course, we have mini golf, which is located at the bottom here, and a maze for kids to go in, which I'm sure if an adult wanted to go in and you thought you were gonna figure it out right away, you probably won't. Also, in winter, don't forget that we have skiing, we have night skiing, and we have tubing, which I love so much because I love to go tubing in the wintertime because the guys at the top, they push you really hard if you want. If you want to be pushed, they will push you. And not just that, they will actually spin you around so you have an amazing experience doing the tubing. I'm pretty sure that goes by the hour kind of a rate. So that's pretty much all that Snow King has to offer, except for, of course, the zip line, which I'll tell you another secret. Not everyone in town is crazy about it because people scream at the top of it, and then that scream goes all across the town. Everyone can hear you screaming. But there is a zip line. So make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, and also share if you feel the need to. Let your friends know if they want to know about Snow King. I'll put the information below so you can have some links to click to them. And stay tuned 2 at 2 and see what I am up to next. As always, and as I close my stuff, I say F perfect, which can mean forget perfect. But be yourself, be real, be authentic. This is why I go on camera and why I teach others to go on camera too as their authentic selves. And you have to keep it real and stand out by streaming live because it is your authentic edge in the AI age. Now, where the heck did they put the X today? Here we go. I can't see anything because the sun is so bright. I gotta wear shades. You know that song?